everyone. Hello, everyone. We're going to be talking about Love Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 28. Okay, so let's just start from here.
Hi, everybody.
One. Yeah, hi. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some of the clips like we usually do, just the picture, and then we'll be talking about it. So yeah, let's start. So the episode started with the double date. So like the last episode was talking about the double date with Stormi and Marsau and Tisha and Courtney. And so the episode started with that double date. Um I think I'm just very curious, like Uter, what do you think about this particular scene and the whole double date between the
To be
Scott and I can't hear you anymore, by the way.
I felt like I was even being gaslighted by both sides. They are both
Oh, your network keeps going in and out. But I think I heard they're both rude and then it went
wrong.
off.
Person is doing it wrong. So,
Uh can't hear you,
oh,
Han.
sorry. Okay, let me change. Okay, my can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can, now I can.
Okay. So let's compare both sides. Let's start from Masao
Mhm.
and Tisha. So Masao and
Right.
Tisha, let me even say Masao because it's not really Tisha. Masao was being disrespectful to Courtney and Stormy, especially Courtney trying to downplay him, trying to downplay his entire
You're on mute again.
trying to down trying to downplay his manhood and everything, trying to say that oh you deal with women's business, blah blah blah. So he was doing that and he was trying to be all that shady by not by consistently reminding them about the whole
Your network is cut out again.
invited to it and then you come in an hour and 30 minutes late to the double date. I would have left. That what I told you guys last week. I would have actually left if I got into if I can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I said I would have actually left if I was to invite somebody to on a date and an hour and 30 minutes has passed and this person has not come for the date. I would have actually left. So they were wrong on two counts. But then when you look at Stormy and Courtney, Stormy especially, she has been excessively rude, crowning it up with, oh, it's my culture, it's my tradition. Excuse, I didn't know that it's someone's culture to be rude. That's very insensitive. That's very it just makes her sound like some bush illiterate
Hmm.
woman. That's exactly how she sounded, saying that's my culture, that's how I was raised to be rude. That was just very, very dumb as hell to me. And then she talking about kept calling this man the B word over and over. I understand you being angry that someone came late, but for you to be excessively rude, calling someone the B word every single time, it was just very unnecessary. So no sides were wrong, and I don't understand why both sides were acting like the victim.
100%. I think they're both, it's almost like they're a mirror of each other, right? Like, because one, Stormy also does not take accountability for the B comment and anything rude that she says. Instead, it's, oh, it's the culture. That's how we speak. That's how we talk. That's what's up. All that kind of stuff that she does. She doesn't take accountability for her side of things. And so then if you look on the other side, Tisha, and then you also have Merceau, who is also very aggravating, who is very, I'll continue to poke at you, poke at you, poke at you. And then when you respond, I am going to hide my hand like, ooh, why are you acting like this? But then the same can be said of Stormy as well. Because if you look on Stormi's side, right, Stormi does the same exact thing, right? When she continually calls this man a B, it it's not even it's not even something that is revolutionary. You know that calling someone a B in that context is going to aggravate them. It is rude. It is out of order. It's disrespectful. You, no matter how what your culture is, you're not going to appreciate someone calling your husband a B. Let's be honest. If Tisha called Courtney a B, Stormi would have been all up in her face trying to fight her. Let's be clear. So all that sort of like trying to act like, oh no, that is completely all lies as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I just looking at them, they're like a mirror of each other. They honestly, they all don't take accountability. They all want to be right and they all love to play victim. It's very much like, oh, what did I do? You know exactly what you did. And when Maso brought up the B comment, Courtney also did not acknowledge that he saw anything wrong in his wife calling Maso a B. So either way, there's still no accountability across the board. Now, you can say that, well, of course, that's his wife, so he ain't going to publicly, not support her, which is fair enough. But at the same time, I feel like even aside that, on both ends, no one is taking accountability instead. And then if legitimately, let's use Stormi's logic, for instance. Stormi says things like, oh, it's a culture, all of these things for her terrible and bad behavior, right? If it's truly her culture, would she have an issue with Maso saying, well, I can't teach anyone a new culture if it really is her culture, right? She wouldn't be as upset as she got. If it's really her culture, it would be, it's my culture, I'm
Yeah,
stick.
I mean, it's our culture to disrespect people. So when you get disrespected, how is it not your own culture?
Exactly. You should be like, oh, oh, nice one. I'm putting it back on you, right? Isn't that the
Hey,
culture?
Gigi.
Hey, Gigi, we're going back and forth, and at the end of the day, right? It's our culture. Let's do it. So yeah, I think for me, I was just like, yeah, nah, nah. And also, I feel like Stormy is passive aggressive, and the reason I say that is she definitely had an issue with Tisha and Maso being late. And of course, anyone would have that issue. But the difference is, I'm not going to wait for them to come. I would have left a long time ago, right? And if you wait, then you can't be having that passive aggressive, sort of outlook and then expect to come out of it not looking like you had some part to play in this issue, in this conflict. But yeah, do you think Stormy is passive aggressive?
She is passive aggressive. She never takes accountability and she's always the victim.
Yes. Yes. It's like another Tisha in a way, because Tisha also doesn't take accountability. Tisha is a perpetual victim, in my opinion. And Tisha is passive aggressive as well. So it's like they're both, and I think this is why they clash. They're both so similar. Like I know, with Tisha, we kind of feel like she doesn't even have business sense, right? But I guess that's where they differ. But a lot of their personalities are quite similar, and I think that's why they don't get along. And I think also the difference is Stormy is a little bit bolder to call out Mercer than Tisha is, and she took it all the way there. But if you think about it, like what actually has been done to the extent of consistently calling this man a B? Don't get me wrong, I remember the whole expo that I want to forget about and all of that, but to the extent of calling this man a B continually, episodes later, how many episodes has it been since that expo? And you're still calling this man a B constantly. That just shows like something has to be wrong. Like it's just too much. But yeah. Anyways, this another thing I have to say is Tisha's outfit sometimes, girl. I'm just like,
Like she looks like a stuffed turkey. She's so like her outfit makes her look bloated. It's just not fair.
It's not. And she's a beautiful woman. I feel like she has a nice body. She just needs to dress for her body type. You're not a skinny girl, and that's okay. You're a nice, thick lady, right? So just dress appropriately. But yeah, I just feel like, well, one thing about her, she definitely is confident, because she definitely stuffs herself in those outfits. So you have to be confident enough to wear some of the things that she wears. But anyways, let's move on. Oh, let's see what Gigi just said about Latisha. Latisha always looks full or bloated. I know, and it's such a shame because she's such a beautiful woman. Like it is actually so sad. Okay, let's move on to the next scene. So Kimmi decided to surprise Maurice with the sex therapist. This whole season they've constantly tortured us with the whole talk about like libido and sex and all these things. Finally, Kimmi is like, let's fix it. And she brought a sex therapist over to speak to them. So yeah, what did you think about this particular part? Lucha?
I was muted and I was just speaking.
Oh yeah.
So in this one, let me not lie, I'm tired of listening and talking about their sex problem. But one thing I'll say is that someone just coming from the deathbed, beating cancer, beating every single thing on earth. Do you know what it means to actually fight and beat cancer? People don't understand the gravity of that stuff. She fought the defeated cancer, and all you're bothered about is, oh, my sex, my sex. Why do you want to have sex 2 to 3 times a day? Every day? Are you 20 seconds man? Are you 10 seconds man? Are you bad at it? Because I feel if you do it one and it's like one amazing time, you don't need to have it multiple times. And for married couple, this is the first married couple I've heard of in my life that have sex every single day. It's very, very impossible. Except if
Hmm.
you guys are on a honeymoon, it's very impossible. Even people that are beaten, even boyfriend and girlfriends, they don't have this amount of sex that he's asking her to have with him. Dude, there is an issue with you because it's actually very crazy why you are consistently insisting on having more sex from someone that just fought cancer and won. And the fact that even when he was asked by the therapist, oh, what do you think is the issue? And he said, oh, it's I understand that the drugs affect her body, but it's a mental thing. I don't understand how you understand that the drugs affect her body, but then you say it's a mental thing.
100%. And also, he's acting like this thing has been going on for years. This woman literally just beat cancer. Like, has this whole thing even been a year yet? Right? And the way he's acted, it's like he's gone 10 years without sex. Right? And in his own words, she's been suffering through it at certain points, right? So, which means you're still getting it in some form. It might not be as frequent as you want it, but you're getting it, right? And my thing with that is like the focus should be on this woman recovering in totality. Do you know she's talked about how she doesn't feel as pretty? What are you doing as a husband to make her feel as pretty? Instead, you're making jokes about her hair. You're making jokes about the fact that she doesn't have hair anymore, and things like that. Or, oh, okay, oh, she lost her hair, but now she's getting some hair now, so it's time to buy her a Jeep. Seriously? Is that what a loving, wonderful husband would do? She already doesn't feel attractive, right? And it's like, okay, she already doesn't feel attractive. What can you do differently? What can you do to make her feel better? Instead, all you care about is sex, 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 sex. Like, I don't understand how she does it. I don't, and I know there was this interview where she was like, oh, before they got married, sex was like a huge part, and they talked about it and all these things. And I get that, but you guys could not have planned for a life altering thing like cancer, right? and it has now happened. So what happens now? Like, moving forward, is it something where, okay, now once a month, or maybe not even anything until she recuperates and gets to the point where she needs to get to? Like, imagine what kind of how mentally difficult it must be for her to be having to still give him some when she's not feeling it.
Like I won't even be bothered about you, dude. Like
Exactly.
you- my whole body just went through so much drama, and you think I would be bothered about you? Come on, like let's be for real on this earth. It makes absolutely no sense for anybody to be asking someone who just beat cancer for anything whatsoever. It's like I don't want to sound like I'm saying too much or doing too much, but the entire thing just irritated me, especially with the fact that the therapist started saying, okay, let's do some intimacy lessons. I started asking myself that what kind of therapist are you?
Why do you say
Because
that?
no matter what, so far so far her body has not healed from the effect of those drugs, all these intimacy lessons blah 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 is not gonna work. Because for her to be to feel adverse effect towards intimacy, not even like sex, not even intimacy, there's no need to be sex, there's not need to be anything too much, but for her to be so adverse to it, it's more than that. She just doesn't want to even do anything because this man has badgered her so many times about it that she's already mentally, like, she has cut it off. She doesn't even know herself because all these things she's trying to do is she's trying to make him cope. Oh, let's do these intimacy classes. They are not really looking at the core issue. He has been asking her for so much sex that she has totally disconnected.
And also, I feel like she probably does not feel that sex brings them intimacy in the way in which it used to do, because now to her it probably feels like an obligation, something she feels like she has to do, right? As opposed to something that, ooh, we love each other, that sort of thing that she was experiencing initially. So if your body is going through everything your body is going through, of course you're not going to want to do anything, right? And then coupled with the fact that even though you don't want to do anything, you have been doing stuff. That does not do well for anybody's mental health at all, right? Because you almost feel like a tool. And I feel like I don't necessarily think she's being completely honest about everything that is going through with her. Maybe they haven't, maybe she was with the sex therapist, but we didn't see it. But I feel like there is a lot more than what they're both saying. In the sense that, one, I personally think, in my opinion, of course, I don't know this to be fact, so alleged, because I know we both want to sue. Um, so let me be clear. Just like, don't even think about it. Right? But I feel like, one, sex with Maurice, this is in my opinion, allegedly, is probably not as enjoyable for her because it's just to satisfy him, right? That's what I think. Because I feel like because the way he talks about needing it does not sound normal. He says, I need it. I need it. So that does not sound normal at all. Hi, Gigi.
Hey, Queens, how are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Had to take the puppy to the vet, but listen, I have been listening and you are so on point, like beyond on point, because this is just ridiculous right now. And how Maurice was just sitting there in that whole therapy session, and then all he got from it was, "Oh, I'm fixed." She agreed with me. No, she didn't. Like, what? Did you get anything out of it besides the fact of, oh, maybe you guys can't have sex more just because the therapist might have said that some of it could be in her mind? You just automatically feel vindicated for everything and you're right now. and you're still not taking into account what this woman's body went through. Like it's not her mental, her body physically went through a change. It's going to take time for her body to, regenerate itself and actually kind of get back to where it was, which honestly, it's never going to fully get back to where she was. Like, what does he not understand?
Honestly, yeah, it's beyond me. I feel like, yes, the thing is, he's very, very insensitive. I think it's both physical and mental, in the sense that, like, I feel like, yes, her body has gone through so much, right? Completely so much. And then that has resulted in very, very minimized libido, right? And then I also think there's also a mental element of it. I think it's both. I think there's a mental element of it because think about it, having to be satisfying in quotation mark or having to perform for a husband when you're dealing with that such a horrible situation cannot be good on anyone's mental health, in my opinion. It can't be. So I feel like yes, the risk is physical and mental. That's what I personally think. Because it just
Yeah,
doesn't make
I
any
agree. I definitely agree. I mean, it is physical and it is mental, but I feel like he's just feeling like it's all in her mind and she's just not wanting to. And
yeah.
as you said, they spoke about like, how things was when they were dating. I feel like he expected it to stay that way when I don't know. It's different. Like when you're on like the side chick level, when you're creeping, shit's exciting. You're very. It's like the whole thing is exciting, and you're doing it all the time, and you're meeting up all the time. But once you become, the main, and y'all get married, shit changes. And I don't think either one of them are really like, acknowledging it.
Yeah, like you said, like if you're in side chick and you're trying to become main chick, right, you're probably performing all the time. Like if he says he wants it 5 times, you're like, I can give it 10 times a day, right? Because you're trying to attain to a certain position. But ultimately, it's not sustainable either way. And so I don't know what he thought I don't know how he thought that would continue forever. It's impossible. That's just not possible. Interestingly enough, I know Ucha, you have a different perspective on this, but I actually did like the fact that the therapist was suggesting to them to do some intimacy exercises. And the reason I liked it was because I felt like it, if I don't know if you remember, there was an this is my recollection, right? But I feel like remember when the whole sex story or whatever, and then it was Dr. Francis, and Dr. Francis was speaking to them about this whole sex situation. And I have this vague recollection that there was something that Maurice said that gave the impression that sex wasn't really so much about intimacy, or intimacy was just about sex rather. And Dr. Francis was trying to clarify that and emphasize that that's not that. And I feel like these intimacy exercises will help them to sort of understand yes, we can still be intimate without it having to go all the way. And I think the person who needs to learn that lesson is Maurice, because not everything needs to lead to sex. But do you guys remember that? Or
Yeah.
am I bugging? Because I feel like I remember
Yes.
that episode.
No, I remember. And that is actually so true because a lot of people don't understand what intimacy is. Sorry, guys. But intimacy is not just sex. Like, intimacy is what you do before sex. Intimacy is all day long. Intimacy can be just a look, a sound, a word, whatever the case is. It's not even about going all the way. And you're so right, Review. I don't think Maurice, we're just going to say he doesn't. He doesn't. Because he's showing it. And at his age, you would think by this time he would understand the difference. But then again, a lot of men don't. A lot of men see intimacy as how good they perform in the bed,
Mm-hmm.
which is definitely not it.
Yeah, and this is why they struggle to have feel or be in relationships where they feel close to their partners. That's why There isn't, you have relationships where people are not really gelling on the same wavelength. It just feels like, this person is going left and then the other one is going right because you're not spending time. There's no intimacy. There is no connection there beyond the sex. And so I actually really liked the, um, yeah, like I liked the having to do those exercises. And hopefully, Kimmy actually, or they both stick to it not leading to sex all the time so that they can actually do it for what it's for. Because it's not really about the sex, it's more about them feeling connected. But anyway, I'm not the therapist.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
Totally. I'm just like, I'm not the therapist. She probably got paid some good money to tell them that. I could have told them that for for free. But anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, I was waiting to kind of like hear her say that. Like she talked a little bit about intimacy, but like I feel like he needs his own course in what intimacy is. Like
Yeah.
not saying away from Kimmy because we don't know how that'll turn out. He might try to get a happy ending out of it, but I feel like he definitely needs like a course in what intimacy is and how to truly like be intimate with a woman.
Yeah, and how to be a good husband.
That off top, good person, period. Because he just seems like his whole personality and how he is with Kimmy just makes it to where like I would never want him to represent me as a lawyer.
Does he even do anything?
Well,
Exactly.
he would say he
I'm
has
always hearing he has cases, he has this case, he has that case. But what is he doing about the case?
If you know, let us know in the comment section below. We're genuinely asking a question.
Right, because that's just like his brother's always having some type of business dealing, but then you never see the finished product, and you're like, okay. I feel like that's their thing. We have this and we have that, and it's like, okay, where's the ending to it? Like we see that you say you have something starting. Where's the middle and ending? Because the story's incomplete. I don't understand. And that's how Maurice is. Like I feel like Maurice would be one of those ones where he would treat you like he's a public defender instead of like your actual attorney. And it's like, I might as well take a plea for some shit I didn't do because you're going to give me life.
Oh, that is so funny. You better put allegedly because, Maurice ain't playing with blood.
Oh yeah, allegedly. And in my opinion, let him come for me. See, I'm not anybody else. Come for me, please. I welcome it. Because see, when I'm done with you, you're going to need more than a sex therapist. Okay. So.
That was brutal.
I don't think he's ready for this YouTube street. I will say that. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to actually say before we move on to the next scene was I liked how the sex therapist actually spoke to Maurice separately and Kimmy separately because I feel like it would have probably resulted in someone getting offended about something. So it's good that at least the sex therapist was able to hear from each one of them separately and then was able to then speak to them as a unit. But yeah, that was the other thing that I wanted to say on that. Okay, let's move on. Oh yeah, this is them doing their exercise. To be fair, they seemed happy doing this too.
I was gonna say, did you see how quickly he pulled her on him? He was ready for that. He was like, "Oh, we about to do it right now." She's like, "No, this is intimacy." Oh shit! I thought yeah, he don't know.
Yeah, I was like the way he pulled her. So I was like, okay, Maurice. Yeah, nah, a bit too much. But yeah, I was like, okay, at least it seems like they're happy-ish. So I hope that it works and they actually continue to see the sex therapist and so that hopefully we can stop with this storyline. I'm tired of the storyline. I don't know about you all, but I'm over it. I don't want to hear it again next season. So I need them to resolve this issue so we don't have to keep watching them or watching this issue unfold.
They're exhausting. They are exhausting. And I was just thinking, like, and I've said this too. the two episodes we had where there were no Scots, those were great episodes. Like I was here for it. It gave a lot. Like it was good. Now you come back with the Scots these episodes, and it's like, why? Who needs them? Like, let's go ahead and do a redo. Can we refilm? Can we reshoot? I mean, can we recast? Like we just do something because this is exhausting. They are just ridiculous and unnecessary, honestly.
Yeah, I think the best decision Carlos made and production team made was actually bringing Chris and Nell full time. Because I feel like they brought something to the show that has been missing. And so like I feel like at least they're like a solid couple, and I feel like us exploring their storylines. Because to be fair, out of everyone, aside Mel, they are the only ones that seem transparent, that seem honest, and seem to be willing to stand in their ish. And so I feel like at least it's good that we have that, because the Scots are not. They're just going to be performing for the rest of us.
Yeah, they're just gonna hide and play and fake and continue to give false, storylines and try to make us believe that there's someone that they're not. So yeah, they need to go.
100%. Okay, let's move on to this. So Nell and Chris invited the whole cast over and told everyone they're going to Houston. Yeah, so like, what did you guys think of this?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to allow someone catch me sleeping. If she came and hugged me, I will hug you back. After you put, if we want to play the game of pretending about something did not happen, I can play it best. I even prefer that because I hate confrontation. When I start confronting people, it never ends well for both of us. So you come to hug me, I will hug you back. We will smile and we will move. So the fact that you could see that Stormi was so uncomfortable, why Courtney played it well. Courtney shook Marsau, hugged Tisha, and went on. But Stormi cannot just move on because she felt like she was played.
Mm-hmm.
She felt called out. She felt disrespected. Meanwhile, she was also disrespecting people.
Yep. And you Stormy reminds me of like people sometimes at work, and that like they don't know how to play nice. The thing is, right, like you said, if she had come to hug me, I'd have been like, "Oh, we're playing nice today. Hello, how are you, girl?" You gonna be tired of me because now since we want to act like we're friends, let's be friends. Oh, all right, cool. Like I just feel I get the impression Stormy is very bothered. Just in general, I feel like she feels things very deeply. She feels slighted so much. Because I'm like, what is, don't get me wrong, her using the website thing, yes, her playing in her face and being late, I get it. But what is that serious that you can't even hug the girl? Oh, am I bugging, guys?
Honestly. But she
I was gonna say,
also
wait a
came
second, there's a
against her
but.
business integrity.
Say that again, hun.
Her business integrity.
Hmm. Yes.
Right. But see, listen, see, I'm different. I can't play fake. If I don't like you, I don't like you, and I'm gonna let you know I don't like you, and I'm gonna give you the reason why I don't like you. It's not just gonna be for no just, you know, bumfuck ass reason. No, I'm gonna give you a real reason. Apologies for the language. But then again, if I have a problem with you and something that you did with my website and we had a meeting and I seen the energy that you was giving and I seen that you just really didn't care, you can't take any accountability and you just really don't care about how that affected my business, there wouldn't have been no reason for me to even bring you on a double date. Because after
Exactly.
then, I'm not finna mess with you. So it wouldn't have been nothing when you came in and walked in and pretended to hug me. No, because I would have called your ass out. Then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call you out. Don't hug me. You know we do not get along, and I told you before I left that I don't fool with you.
Yeah,
No, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play.
and that's the thing. I feel like Stormy played herself. And I say that because you let this woman stay in your face, right? And respond to you how she responded to you about the website, but you didn't address her in that moment, right? But then you were still upset about it and still proceeded to invite her to a double date. You look like the fake one. But then you're allowed to be fake on your terms, but then she can't be fake because it doesn't make any sense. Because you sat in this woman's face and you stood in her face and said, "Oh yeah, let's go for a double date," like everything was cool, only for you to then be upset again. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, there's a lot of fakeness on this show, period. So it's kind of like, who's going to be fake this week, or who can be fakers? Like, who can out fake who? You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, Stormi, you had a problem with her, and for you to be the person that you are, where you're so rah rah and you act like you are the truth. Like I said, when she found out about the whole website design, you went and talked to her, and she gave you no energy, no apology, no real apology, and basically made it like it wasn't her, which that right there should have let you know, don't even deal with her, because she don't even know how to, you're such this businesswoman, she don't know how to do business, so why are you dealing with her? So, and to bring her on a double date after that, it just shows like, okay, Stormi, was you being fake? Was it like, what was your hidden motive for even bringing her there? Because I just didn't see the reason. Because on the double date, all they did was disrespected each other.
100%. And this is why I don't understand. It's like, one minute, I feel like Stormi is not sure who she wants to be on the show. Because I feel like one minute it's like, ooh, rah, rah, rah. Then the next minute, you can't address it in, right there to say, okay, I don't like the way you handled it. Moving forward, I don't think we should be hanging out. It's very much given. Does that make sense? It gives it, you're giving me, oh, we're cool. And then let's go on a double date, only for you to keep calling her husband or insinuating that her husband is a B, despite everything. And then thinking like, oh, we can all be cool. How can you be cool if you keep calling this woman's husband a B? If it was Courtney that was being called a B, I'm sure you would have been throwing punches.
If we look
Yeah,
at it
it's just
well, Kimmi,
crazy.
Kimmi, Kimmi was very right. Kimmi said both of them are rude. So she doesn't understand where some is coming from, because why you're acting all up in your feelings. The only part where I think that she's right is one, the late coming of the date, and two, the stealing of my labeling and not wanting to apologize. Well, all I have to say is that you've learned the hard way why Mel does not deal with Tisha. So deal with it.
Yep, 100%. I was like, where was this, when your mom was going after Mel? So, you made your bed, lie in it now. And interestingly, Kimmy said that Marsau is a gaslighter, condescending, and rude, and so is Stormi. And I thought that was interesting, because I was like, first of all, why did Kimmy say anything to Stormi? I would not be happy if I was watching the confessionals and watching the show like the rest of us, and seeing that Kimmy was out here saying I'm condescending, I'm also a gaslighter and all of that. But like we said at the start, it does seem like there's a lot of similarities between Tisha and Marsau and Stormi, to be completely honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of like similarities, and I have to address the fact of how Tisha was though, because that bothers me too. Just how she's just so, okay. So she tries to have this attitude like, oh, I don't care about nothing. I don't care. Like, you know how Mel is just unbothered. Tisha tries to play unbothered, but she's not playing it well. And for her to act like, I don't even know why Stormi's over there talking to Mel about it. I thought we was over it. No, you gave no real like acknowledgement or account for what happened. So no, I would be upset too, because you damn near tampered with my business. You could, and then for the comment that she made when she was like, "No, it didn't hurt me. I got a lot of sales off of it." Okay, so you stole. Like to me, that's almost thievery.
Hmm.
So it's like you just have this attitude where now you're acting like you're just unbothered, you don't care. But then, yet, the moment somebody says something about you or about what's going on, then you're acting like everybody's trying to destroy you or your marriage. Like, I can't stand Tisha. I'm not going to say the Stormi was right, but I can understand where she's coming from when it comes to her feelings with Tisha and not wanting to be around her. Because even if after she tried to give her a chance after that warehouse deal and she came to the double date, you showed up an hour and a half late. That's so
Hmm.
disrespectful. So no, after that you really get no more chances. So I can kind of feel Stormy where now it's like, nah, your energy's off and I'm starting to realize it. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me or fool shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So you're not gonna keep getting fooled.
Yeah, I hear that. I just wish that Stormy actually addressed it as a like, because it just feels like it ended on a very passive aggressive note. Like, and then the next day, Tisha is like, "Oh hey," like everyone is all buddy buddy and all of that. So I wish that they would just address it, like talk about it, break it down. How do you feel? How do you feel? Like let's just get to the bottom of things. Like I feel like I'm tired of the passive aggressive weirdness that we see on the show a lot. And I'm just like, just if you have an issue, address it. Like, look at how Kimmi sat in this woman's face pretty much acting like she's giving her support, only to be in the confessionals talking about she's a gaslighter, condescending, and whatever she said. I'm just like, can we pull that part of that energy into the show instead of confessionals? It's like everyone be acting like confessionals gangsters. Like, can we like talk about it in the show, please? But yeah, anyway, that's my little 2 cents in that one. But let's talk about Mr. Chris. Chris. What did you guys think of Chris's comment to Mattel?
Shade. Shady.
Chris is shady. Like, Chris is actually shady. I feel like Chris is like, if I'm going to be on reality TV show, I know and understand the assignment. And that's what it's given. It's given, I understand the assignment. And now I'm going to be shading Mattel. Oh goodness. But yeah, now I was here for it. Absolutely here for it.
I feel like
Now
Chris
let's
says what he's gonna say. Like, even though he might throw some shade, you know what I'm saying? But he's still gonna, especially when it comes to Martell, I feel like he is trying to, like, any chance he gets to shade him, he's going to.
yep.
'Cause have you noticed, like, every time it was him moving out the house, or Melody changing her name, or just her moving on. Like, anytime he can shade Martell, he does.
100%. And I think it's because he knows that there's no other way that he would be able to get through to Mattel. Because let's be honest, Mattel, if you had a personal conversation with Mattel is never going to take accountability. He's always going to flip the script. So the best he can do is like throw little jabs here and there where he can. And then, of course, Mattel is not going to say anything. He's just going to, like, oh no, but that's all it is going to be. So yeah, I'm definitely here for Chris throwing his little jabs at Mattel. Someone needs to. Excuse me. Let's talk about this scene. Now I was like, okay, mama. Now was riding that bull. I was like, okay, now.
Right? When I saw, I said, "Oh shit! Now hold on, hold on, cowgirl.
Mhm.
Listen." And I think Chris was actually enjoying that quite a bit because, honey, he was looking. He was like, "Yeah, that's my wife right there."
Did
All the
you
men
catch?
was looking.
Uh huh. Did you catch who else was enjoying it?
Marsau.
Yes. He was I was like, wait. Is that what you want? Is that
Yeah,
what you
he
want?
wants anyone but Tisha. Okay.
Do you know what? It made me remember. I don't know if it was a Bet on Black scene, and he was trying to tell Tisha to be sexy, and Tisha was like, "She don't know how to be sexy." Oh my god! When I saw this, I was just like, "Oh, he's probably thinking like Tisha can't even do that."
Yeah, that's probably he was like, I wish my wife could do that, but she can't. So he had to just enjoy looking at Neil because that's the closest to the sexy he's getting besides the ones he's cheating with, allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was very, very entertaining. I actually liked how Chris and Neil brought everyone together. I thought it was like really well thought out, like it was nice to have that invite and also like this little preview that Neil was giving us on this ball. That was quite fun. But yeah, Ucha, I see you're back. Oops. Sorry,
Yeah, I'm
guys.
back.
That's all right. We're just talking about this whole Neil riding the ball and how Maso was looking.
Yeah, that she was just. It was very, very disrespectful.
No, Maso was definitely enamored with yeah. He was feeling the girl. Mm.
Yeah, it was disrespectful. It was not even about feeling the girl or anything. It was the fact that he talked about, oh, after 29 years, I understand. She was really riding. I was like, what does that mean?
Oh, did he say she was really riding? I
Yeah.
completely missed that part.
Wait a minute. I did too. I heard him say something about after 20 something years. I thought he said something like, I see why you're still married. Wait, I don't know what the heck I heard then.
Me
Whoa.
too. I didn't hear that bit. I only heard the 20 something years and I was like, oh, okay. Like, you mean they've been married for a long time? I did not hear that bit. Okay, now that
Even if
makes
that's the
sense.
only part you heard, what do you think he's like referring to?
I just, ooh, fair enough. Another angle. That's we didn't really like, because we didn't really think about it in that way. Like, I didn't really think about it that way. I just thought, I see why you've been married for long, you know? Didn't really think. Well, for him to specifically say riding, no. In the same sentence as someone else's wife, that is too much. Yeah. Team, absolutely too much. Mm-mm. That's the thing, though. I did not hear that, but it sounds like Maso drags things out. Like he does too much, man. That is just too much. Mm-mm. Okay, so let's move on to the
Yeah.
Houston.
I'm sorry. I was thinking that like when I did see her, I was like, oh. And
Mm.
when I did see Marcel looking, I was like, oh yeah, I see what he's looking for because that's what guys they there's been stuff said like ride him like a cowgirl. So I was like, oh okay, that's what she be doing. But for Marcel to say it, like that is creepy. Like, dude, keep your comments about my wife to yourself.
100%. It's the same time when, like, I don't know if you remember, Mattel was giving Tisha compliments and saying, "Oh, you're looking really good," and like, have you been going to the gym and all that kind of stuff. It was just too much. I was like, that's someone else's wife. So, talking about her belly is like flatter or something like that. Unless I'm making it up, but I remember that, and I was like, that's seemed too much. Yeah, nah. Mm-mm. I feel like people need to. There's like etiquettes that you should have with other people's spouses, man. It's too much. Anyway, moving on to the Houston trip. So Melody showed up prior to the rest of the cast, except the host. And Chris was trying to make another joke, and Mel was like, "No, we ain't gonna do that." What did you guys think of this scene?
This needed to have been said even prior to this because I wouldn't want anybody to still keep attaching me to an ex. Like there's a difference between attaching me to an ex and there's a difference between attaching me to an ex that was abusive mentally
Mhm.
to me. So I won't want you guys. I don't care whether you're joking. I don't care whether you're trying to draw attention to a scenario. I don't really care. Do not attach me to this man. You can draw that scenario without calling me
Mm.
attached to it. So there's nothing like Mel and Martell. No, it's over. If you want to do anything in twos, there's nothing like Mel and Martell. Rather, I would even rather be paired up with someone else. I don't care how you want to split it. I just don't want to have any connection to this person. So it needed to be said because every single time people keep saying, "Oh, but you guys have kids together." But you guys like, I don't fucking care. He knew we had kids together when he cheated. He knew we had something together when he did all those things. So why do you keep reminding me consistently? Like it's irritating.
It's true. Like, why do I have to be the one to remember we have kids together? Did he remember we had kids together when he was doing what he was doing? Clearly not. And so I like how she checked him straight away, said what needed to be said, because if she didn't say it again, because bear in mind also at the time this was being filmed, this is at the time when the whole revenge P was out and we all knew about it and the whole social media was buzzing, but yet she still had to film with this person. Talk about not protecting this woman at her place of work. Instead, she has to be in the same vicinity as this man. So of course she it's even insensitive for Chris to have made a joke about it to begin with.
Right, and that's the whole thing is why does she have to repeat herself at all? And why does it that there's an explanation even needed when everyone has seen what this man has done to her and actually has done to his kids and how he tries to use his kids as pawns in his schemes and scams and to try to, have people feeling sorry for him knowing that one, your kids are taken care of by the same woman that you disrespected and disregarded feelings of. Like your kids are fine and she is fine. And it was something else. Like he made it seem like he is not pressed about Mel. He can talk to her and speak and see her and has no feelings towards her at all. Like we all know that that's bull. If Mel said today, Martell, I've been thinking, I miss you. Let's try to work it out. That man is going to drop everything that he has got going on and go back to Mel.
Yep.
But yet, she has to let everyone know, like, hey, I don't want to be around him. I'm not trying to conversate. We are not on speaking terms. They only talk when it has to do with the kids. The kids aren't around. So why do they have to speak or be around each other? And why is everybody trying to force that?
It's actually mad sickening that people are trying to force that, because like if that ever happened to them, their family members, would they want to be in the same space with someone like that? Instead, she has to be in the same space with them, with the man. Why can't they try to make her life a lot easier? She shouldn't even have to say that. They should have said, "We've chosen this room for you. It's away from everything. This is this. You have your space. We're not going to put you guys together. Blah blah blah." She shouldn't even have to bring it up. It should be something that you should think of as friends, even if that person is not your friend. It's common sense, right? This is a safety issue. This is someone that's been abusive. You've seen Cash trips when he's practically come to her face, been in her face. So I don't understand why people are acting like, she's doing too much.
Right.
That's because they never had a chance to stand up for themselves.
Mm, true, true. And so secretly, it's almost like, oh, this woman standing up for herself. She's doing too much. She's doing too much for having boundaries. She's doing too much for not letting this man that has been abusive into her space. Like, yeah, nah, people need to chill. Now, I will say that when Melody got them together, they seemed to receive it and they seem to be on the same page with her. So I feel like there is a level of respect that they have for Melody. I will say that.
Yeah, but I still feel like some of them are still trying to uh coddle Martell's feelings in a way sometimes
Yes,
by
yes, yes.
just like even allowing him to have an openness to lash out. Like honestly, at some point in time, you got to stop inviting the person that you know is going to cause trouble. If you
Mm.
know every time you have an event, a vacation, something going on, this person is going to cause some drama. Stop inviting that person. Like I have someone like that in my family. Mm-mm. And everybody in the family knows when this certain person shows up, all hell's gonna break loose. And if it's time that they have to bring something, like say it's an event and we're cooking, and this person has to bring something, they're hella late. Like everybody's already eaten by now, and then they come in with some stuff that wasn't even what they were supposed to bring, and they're like everybody's already done eating, ready to go. Oh, and then that's a problem. So they want to argue, fight, like no, just stop inviting your ass. Like, because
Yeah,
what do you bring to the table? Like, let's ask that question. What does he bring to the table?
nothing. Honestly, like when he didn't show up to some of the episodes, I didn't actually even think, oh, wait, where is Mattel? No, not once did it cross my mind. If anything, I'm like, oh, I'm glad he's not on this one. So I don't really think he's bringing much to the show. I really don't think he's bringing anything to the show, if I'm being completely honest. I can't say I remember a storyline he had going on this season, unless I'm missing it. Does anyone remember any actual storyline that Mattel has this season? Well, I guess if they don't want to show the real, the truth about things, then he's really not going to have much to talk about.
Mel is always going to be his storyline. He has no other one. And I feel like that might have been one of the reasons why he was even trying to get Coleslaw on there so that he could have another storyline. Now you have two women that you're going back and forth between. No, sir. Side chicks get no platform. Well, I guess now, because I sent Ucha the screenshot, I guess they're starting a new show for the side chicks.
Oh, are they? You
Yeah.
girl, send it to me. I want to see what's going
Girl,
on.
I will send it to you because we're both like Coleslaw, might as well sign up. 'Cause it's just like, it's crazy. And when you see, like, I'm gonna send it to you as soon as we get off here. I'm gonna send it, and when you see it, just like, give me your first thought.
I will
But
absolutely.
it's like that's why he wanted Coleslaw on there is because he had to have another storyline. He has no other one. Him moving out the house late wasn't a good storyline. So what else did he have? Mel.
Yeah.
Oh, Mel's trying to ruin him because she's doing the name change ceremony. Everybody else is trying to ruin him because they're siding with Mel, and whoever goes with Mel chooses their allegiance. Like, really?
Mhm.
Like, sir, you are a 12-year-old boy trapped in a 40-something-year-old man's body.
Raising children, my goodness. That's the
Scary.
part that scares me the most for those kids. Good thing they have a parent like Melody. Because like when you think about how bad his emotional regulation is, you just wonder like how do you raise children with that temper, with that behavior? What are you instilling in those kids? Anyways, look at his face when he saw Melody.
Oh,
Somebody is
smelling
obsessed.
like Chester Cheetah.
Somebody is acting obsessed. Because I don't understand, like, hi Mel. She heard you the first time. Hi Mel. She heard you the first time and ignored your ass.
He
Literally.
was mad. So,
Yeah. And then he kept saying
um,
he's unbothered, he's unbothered. Hun, if you keep saying you're not bothered, you're bothered. Like, if I'm unbothered, I would not need to keep saying I'm unbothered. Oh, I don't mind that she did not. You know you mind. You know you want that woman to talk to you.
it will do nothing more to make his day than for Mel to acknowledge his presence.
Yep.
To give him some type of acknowledgement would make his whole world just be filled with joy. And I feel like that's why, because like preview of the next, he slowly brought something in. I feel like that's why to try to make somebody jealous. Don't nobody care about. She already knows.
Oh, is it me or your internet is going in and out? I don't know if it's from my end, but
She said
you're
it's gotten
never.
loud.
Oh, okay. No, it's back. It was your internet was
Oh,
going in and out. You're cutting out. Now I
okay.
can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me?
Yeah, now
Okay.
I can.
I was just saying, like, I feel like that's the reason why he so called and allegedly brought someone in to the place where they're at because
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to try to get under Mel's skin. She didn't acknowledge him, so what can he do to make her mad?
Yep. And
And
he
it's like
wanted some.
even if she doesn't talk to him, if she talks to the girls about him, it'll get back to him so that he'll know that she at least talks about it.
100%. He was trying to get her attention. It was hoping that she would be like, oh, a little upset about it. Or he was hoping that at least now everyone will be talking about it to her and to get her reaction. She does not care. The truth of the matter is, she knows she probably feels sorry for whoever decides to date him because she knows what they're going to go through. So, nah, she's not going to care. She's not going to be sad. That woman does not want you. It's good riddance. You're the one who wants her. And if she ever turns up with a man, he would be pained. Extremely pained.
I feel like his head would explode at that point. Like like just straight clean pop off. Like he'd look like that emoji. Like he would not know how to handle seeing Mel with another man. That's why if you remember the live that she did when she was um I forget where she was. I think was she in Houston or she was somewhere and she met that guy Ali
Oh, yes, I remember him.
and you see that Martell was like calling, texting, sending emails, making fake accounts, all types of stuff, allegedly. Like, wow. And she wasn't even dating that man. She just went on live with him.
Yep.
Because they had went parasailing together.
Yeah. Nah, honestly, people were pressed during that time. Is this her? Is this her new man? Wouldn't that have been nice? But yeah, I remember like people kept apparently emailing and blowing up Ali's
Mm-hmm.
spot. Ali must have been like, who the heck did I run into? Like,
Right. Who are the millimeters?
who
And
are
who is
they?
this other page? Like, what is this person saying? Yeah, but Martell is jealous and would definitely lose his marbles if she dated anyone publicly or even brought someone around that could be a potential.
Yep.
Like, don't let her try to bring somebody in that, inside of there and actually have him around the people, everybody or anything. Martell would lose his mind. He'd try to start saying everything about Mel. Hey, Mel, you remember? Hey, Mel, hey, Mel. And then start trying to be real rude and catty like he always is.
Yeah. I do wonder though. Did you guys remember that Mel actually said she needs a lock on her door? And I completely agree. If she's gonna
Yeah.
stay in that same
In the
house,
last, I think they went on a trip last time and they were all in one house and he entered into her room. I've forgotten what season
I
that was. Was it
remember.
season two, three? I can't really pinpoint that.
Yep. And he literally, and then he was acting like it wasn't intentional, and she was like calling him out on it. I remember that. Yeah. She better
Yeah,
have
that's
consequences.
crazy. I mean, it's crazy that she had to feel like, hey, um it's time that you have to. I mean, if you gotta feel safe, do what you gotta do to feel safe. Do what you have to do, like, because safety is key. Your peace, you have to protect it by any means necessary.
100%. 100%. You need to protect your peace at all times. And if anything, like she's actually even, although I did hear that she allegedly did not stay in the house with them, but I don't know how true that is or whether or not that's true. Um, but I just think to have to even be in the same space as this man must have been so difficult for her. And of course, she has to have that door locked because you can't trust this man. What if he comes into the room drunk and doing whatever? You don't know what time he's going to be on. So yeah, I'm glad she definitely asked for that. And if she didn't even stay in the house, even better. Let's talk about Maurice and Kimmi. So, where do I even start on this one? Kimmi was telling Maurice about his interview with Carlos and how that had impacted the impact it had on her. She was also talking about how her mom found out about it and how her mom felt about the interview. Now, let's talk about it, Gigi. What do you think about that? First of all, I have so many thoughts, but I'm going to let you go because I just feel like she can't be. They both can't be serious. But anyway, you go. You go ahead.
I I have so many thoughts about it too because it's just like I still don't feel like he gets it, and part of me feels like in the back of his mind he still doesn't feel like he's wrong. He's just wrong because um people are criticizing it. I don't feel like
Mm,
he really thinks what he said is wrong. And for Kimmy to say like, "Hey, the interview you did, it was disrespectful," you know, when she said it was disrespectful to her, he really had no care. But when she brought up the fact of her mom, that's when he was like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." Like, why
yeah,
wouldn't you think about the damage and what it would do to the person you're talking about? Because you only think about yourself. And then Kimmy, I feel like she takes up for him, even though she. Listen, I understand that's your husband. You take up for your husband, of course. But when he's wrong, you don't. And I feel like that's what makes a relationship really what it is, even friendships. Because if I have to always tell you what you want to hear and you can't listen to the truth, there's no connection that we can have. Because then I know that you, one, can't take accountability and are a person that can and will hurt me without care. And I
yep,
feel like with Maurice is just like, I feel like he's still stuck in their dating phase. Like he thinks things should have still been there. I feel like he does resent Kimmy for having cancer, which is bad to say, but that's just how I feel. I feel like he feels like it was a burden on him, and this isn't what he really signed up for, honestly.
wow. No, I actually agree with you. Because the thing is, the way he is looking in this moment, when I watched it, I just felt like one, he clearly did not really understand the impact. I feel like he only felt, okay, I need to apologize if her mom is upset. But the truth is, I don't think he understood why. I don't think he understood the impact. I feel like he just feels like, oh, I used the wrong words. And if I used different words, it would have all been cleared up. No, sir, you're very, very insensitive. And the things you said were extremely disrespectful. You were not protecting your wife in that moment. You weren't even protecting yourself because the things you said do not make you look good either way. And I just thought about it and I said, despite all of that, you guys are both sitting down to practice what he should tell her mom. What kind of madness is that? I'm just like, I
Yeah,
just don't.
that didn't make sense. I didn't listen. Y'all are two grown people. And I understand that, listen, communication is key. But some things, as a person, you should not have to tell another grown person.
Right.
Like, you've raised your son. Your son is grown. Why are you steady having to raise another grown man who was supposed to be your husband, your equal? Actually, even, if some say the leader of the house and he's not leading anything except for he's leading an excursion of disrespect because all he could think about is you not wanting to have sex with him. Not once is he really, really thinking about your feelings, or is he incorporating how you are feeling with what he is saying? Like there's no correlation to him. He's not understanding like he is also a part. If it's in her mind mentally, he's not understanding that he is a part of that that mental space.
Hmm. 100%.
So even if it's mental, you are still a part of that. What is your part in this? Because you've been attacking her. I haven't heard him defend her. It's all been him basically just telling her how she's not right for not having sex with him as much as he wants.
Mm.
And basically that she's purposely doing it. It's your fault. You know,
It's
so
really.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah, nah, honestly, it's the thing is Kimmy says a lot of words, but not enough impact. It's like she says a whole lot of nothing, right? Like you're talking to this man, be direct with him. Like I'm not saying be rude or anything, but be direct with him. You saying this is the problem. Because what it sounds like is she says a lot of things. I don't think he listens. I think he just sort of like, he's like, oh, okay, I get the gist of what she's saying. Move on. But I think that they're not really like he's not listening to understand, and she's not communicating in a way in which he can receive it. And
Yeah.
I feel like because every time I'm not even talking specifically about the sex thing, but every time I've seen them have conversations, it's like somehow Maurice misses the point every single time. And I'm like, are you missing the point because you're a gaslighter? Or are you missing the point because you really don't comprehend the point? With this sexual thing, I honestly believe he doesn't comprehend what his mistakes are in this situation. I just don't think he gets it. For some reason, I feel that this is my opinion. I feel that he feels somewhat entitled to her body, to her in that way. And that is clouding how he communicates these things.
He's only seeing her as a body. She's
Mm,
not truly a wife to him. She's just basically someone that he can have sex with. Someone she is his mother without being his mother because he can have sex with her. You know what I'm saying? She takes
mm,
care of him. She does everything for him just like a mother does. She
yeah,
coddles him just like a mother. And I feel like on Kimmy's part, honestly, she's afraid of really telling him how she feels because she's afraid that he'll leave. She's afraid. And honestly, I feel like she knows that he's out doing stuff. They probably had a conversation about it. But I feel like she just doesn't want to be Kiowa. Put it that way. She doesn't want to be Kiowa. Even though she doesn't have kids, she doesn't want him to go out and cheat and then divorce her and then find somebody else and then remarry.
yeah. Yeah, because she definitely walks on eggshells around him in the way in which she speaks to him. It's almost like, girl, get to the point. Like, why can't you just be very clear about what your expectations are and what it is, what your boundaries are? Because it just feels like it's a very dancing around the topic to placate or make him feel better about his ego or whatever. And the other thing that I kept thinking was, I was like, aside the way they communicate, it almost feels like there is nothing else in this relationship except the sex. And because the sex is no longer as frequent, they both are like, what do we have left? That is what I get every single time, because I've never
Right.
ever seen so much emphasis being put on sex in my entire life when it comes to marriage, especially with someone going through a life altering thing like cancer.
Their storyline has been so much about sex that you don't know anything else that they have going on. Like, I don't, you haven't seen Maurice practice anything. I thought Kimmi was doing real estate now that she stopped nursing. Haven't seen, I mean, the little show she did on HGTV or whatever, that was not as good as what you would think it would be. So it's like, what are y'all really doing? Is sex the entirety of your relationship? Because if so, I feel like y'all got married for the wrong reason.
Yep. Honestly feel like sex is the entirety of their relationship, because the way they talk, the emphasis in which they place on sex is a bit too much. Like, it's concerning. Like, okay, your wife can't have sex right now. Okay, you guys can talk. You can date her. When last did you even take her out on a date? Like, when last did you do something? Does that make sense? It's like we don't see the
Yeah,
love.
absolutely. You don't see anything except for them talking about sex or the lack
Exactly.
thereof.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I wish that they would do something else. All we see is her talking about his inadequacies, or him talking about her inadequacies in terms of sex. There's never really been, like, we've not seen enough of the, since they got married at least. We've not seen enough of like love and affection and two people who really want to be with each other and have that connection. If they're listening, please, we would want to see more of that on the show. Like, it's not everyday libido. Let's talk about something else. Let's see something else.
No, because honestly, there are plenty of men whose wives have gone through this and they have stuck by them and actually, and it's not even sticking by them, but have actually understood. And instead of trying to hinder them during their process, have actually helped their healing. With him, I feel like he's the type of person that will cause you so much stress that he causes certain things to happen because, stress is the leading killer in Black women.
Mm-hmm.
So, with me, I feel like, come on, sir. You have a law degree, but I think I need you to. A lot of people, have you ever heard the term people say that you have book sense but no common sense? That
Yep.
that is Maurice. Like,
Mhm.
you have no common sense, but you can pass a law. You can pass the law degree. You pass the bar. You was summa cum laude and all this. Okay, but you have no common sense. None. You think with the wrong head.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to the final. See, Tisha and Marsau. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. They should just like cut this out. Like, honestly, they should have kept this in drafts, because it honestly was given fake. It was given phony. It was given, oh, let me talk about Tiffany and Louis and their baby, and then let me talk about the fact that I took a pregnancy test. It's like, it's all fake. Come on, cut it out. And then, but even if we're even assuming that let's assume it's true for a second. The man is literally saying to you, that insinuating that you cheated, and then saying that he's going to ask for a blood test. Where's the trust?
And also said that he was going to leave you.
Yes. And she's like, I'll leave first. I'm like, girl, it doesn't matter. Either one of you. Sounds like you guys don't even want to be there.
Right. Like, listen, to me, this shit's fake anyway. Like, you want to talk about a marriage? That's really a lack thereof because this man shows no attraction to you. He shows that he really does not respect you. He calls you out every chance that he gets, which it really might just be a Scott thing because it seems like Kimmy's turning into Tisha and Marsau's been Maurice, or Maurice has been Marsau. Well, no, Maurice is older. So, yeah,
Yep. I feel like Maurice and Marsau are the same person.
absolutely.
And Tisha and Kimmi are as well. The only
Yeah.
difference is Kimmi knows how to like wrap it in a bow and ribbon. But she really is Tisha deep down. The
She's
behavior.
definitely turning into Tisha and it's getting to the point to where like Kimmy is sacrificing her whole self just to be a Scott.
Mm,
Like, honey, marriage is not that deep because well, and I was actually talking to somebody yesterday, and I think it was Braylon. I was talking to him yesterday. I was letting him know, like, because a lot of people they get marriage misconstrued, and then
mm,
you got all these because I know what it was. I had seen that Cardi B is now saying that her and Offset have been split up. I said, damn, everybody now is saying that they've been split up. What's going on? And it's like people don't take marriage seriously because they feel like marriage happens during the wedding. Once you have the wedding and you say I do, that's when you're married. No, people need to understand that marriage comes before the wedding. Marriage comes when you first commit to each other. When you commit, even if you get into a covenant, it doesn't matter what it is. Before the marriage, just saying that, hey, I I'm willing to do this, and are you willing to do that? And you guys can come to an agreement, or however you do it. That's what happens, and that's where the marriage is. The wedding's just a ceremony to solidify your marriage.
mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are getting married for the wrong reason, and they're splitting up. And then you have marriages like this where the man just has no regard for his wife. We allegedly he's sleeping with everyone that rotates, and she's just sitting there. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna put it past Tisha. I don't think that she's just the sweet innocent girl that she acts like she is. Like, mm-mm. I
Yeah.
feel like she does her dirt too.
Yeah. I feel like they must. Yeah. Because I just don't understand. I honestly don't think she's as sweet as she portrays. But I think she's one of those ones where she's like, as long as if you cheat in peace, as long as that never comes up, as long as I don't have to be defending you, as long as that doesn't come to my way, I'm cool with you doing whatever. I feel like that's the impression I get from Tisha on this
Yeah,
one.
but it keeps coming her way. The dust keeps getting kicked up in her face.
It does. But at
Like,
least there's no proof yet. There's no concrete proof yet. And I think that's what is still because if there's concrete proof, then she would have to address it. But she doesn't want to address it. So I
right.
think the fact that there's no like screenshots of him with another woman right in between her legs, because it needs to be right in between her legs, because I'm sure she would say no, that's not what happened. So I feel like she needs some concrete proof for her to then feel like she publicly has to act or behave a certain way.
Yeah, but that's just like her saying that he went to Colombia on a bachelor's trip. It's like, girl, you have all these degrees. Do you know what a bachelor's trip is? He's not a bachelor. So if you say he went on a bachelor party, but then you only say that he went with one other guy, like, girl, what are you really think is happening? Like, again, where's the common sense?
Do you
Book
feel
smarts.
Do you feel like she says these things to set Marsau up to be chastised by the public? Because I feel like why else would she bring up this whole bachelor trip? We didn't need to know. It wasn't like we saw Marsau missing in action.
Right. And it's not like anybody asked, but I guess Stormi might have said something, but still, like, and honestly, I feel like she sets it up for people to question Marsau and say, oh, look, he's cheating. Look, he went here and he went on this trip without her again. First time it was Africa. Now it's Colombia. Why is he going without her? Like, of course she's setting that up.
Yeah,
Because
because
again, she has no storyline. So if she has to keep Marsau possibly being unfaithful and her having to keep defending it and saying everybody's ruining her marriage, I guess that would be her reign on storyline.
but I think it's her being vindictive because I personally feel like she can't check Marsau, but she needs us to check Marsau for her. If that
Mm,
makes sense, right?
okay.
That's the impression I get because I feel like if we think about every single thing, right? Aside the things on that we've seen on YouTube, but everything that has come on the show, it's been her throwing us little crumbs. So I feel like she does not feel comfortable enough checking Maso because of who Maso is, because of how Maso gaslights her. But instead, she throws us the crumbs so that we can check it. Because how else or why else would she say, oh, it was he went on our anniversary weekend to a bachelor's trip in DR or wherever in Colombia? Why would she say that? Like automatically that
Yeah,
looks
for us to get onto him and say the things that she's afraid to say. And for
exactly.
her to act like, oh, if I was pregnant and I would leave you once the results came in, like, girl, so now you're trying to get a backbone? Like, that's why I didn't understand that whole they're back and forth with that because it's like, so now you're trying to basically let him know that you would leave him because you make it like there would be nothing absolutely that could happen that would make you want to leave him.
Exactly. Like I just feel like I
So
honestly feel like
yeah.
it up so that we can call him out because she's not gonna do it. Because if you remember also when Stormi started calling Masoa B, she never addressed it. She let it continue to happen. Because I think deeply she enjoyed Stormi being able to check him. That's just
Yeah,
personally what
that's
I
why she didn't have nothing to say. That's why she was just so quiet and let Stormy say whatever she wanted. Because I was wondering, I was like, there's no way in hell you're gonna sit there and I'm gonna sit there and let another woman call my husband a bitch over
never.
and over again. Like you got life all the way messed up. I don't know who you think or thought he was. No, like that can no. In real life, that could never happen. So that right there, yeah, I can see it, and I agree with that. Maybe she does say certain things just for us to say what she's feeling, or to say things she's afraid to say
Yeah,
because she knows. I feel like she really knows what Marcel's doing, and she's afraid that he will leave her for someone else.
yep, 100%. And she's just using us for her dirty work. But the truth is, we're tired of doing the dirty work. I've noticed that people are not even like calling out Maso anymore. Like people are just like she's stupid. So like I don't even think it's working anymore. I think everyone is over it. You're not going to leave him. That's what you do. So everyone is like, you do what you do. But yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to mention about this?
No, I'm just sick of the Scots, both sets, one and two. Like it. Come on, it's time for their storylines to go ahead and just be done. Let's go ahead and end it. And like I said, recast. Because what we have right here is just clear cases of just just fake fraudulent people who really have nothing to offer a show.
100%.
So yeah, ready for them to go.
Yeah. I think they definitely need to get rid of both Hi Unfiltered Uzo. They need to I feel like they need to get rid of at least one of the Scots. If they want to keep one, if you have to keep Merceau and Tisha. But they really need to get rid of Kimmy and Maurice. Kimmy and
Kimmy
Maurice don't
Scott. Yeah.
and then give us another couple as well, another couple who doesn't know any of the cast members, who has no alliances with anybody, I feel like they need to do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like once they do that, I feel like that would change the dynamic a little bit. And because at the moment it just feels very unbalanced, because then Tisha and Kimmi can decide to tag team,
Mm-hmm.
somebody on the show, which I don't think is right. So yeah, they just need to. Kimmi needs to be a friend of, because to be fair, they're giving us friend of behavior anyway. Like there's nothing they're bringing to the show that is like enough for a regular castmate anyway. So they just need to go and move on. But yeah,
Agreed.
thank you so much, everyone, for watching, for joining in, for leaving comments and engaging. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to Quinn's Tea with Gigi Nan, and please subscribe to Reviews and Recaps. And please also subscribe to Ucha Talk with Slana's channel as well. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.